So I think we've heard quite a few ideas already on this subject. I think we need to embrace the opportunity that a new way of working offers us to adapt our methods to win and shine over our competitors. And the idea here is the role of the remote demonstration and how that can play a massive part in the sales process. At our Ideas Lab tour last year, Will introduced us to his wonderful word, simplificationalism. I'm sure you all went off using that afterwards. And he also used the famous scene from Mad Men that demonstrated how delivering a pitch in a way that results in an emotional response or an attachment with the end user is far more powerful than a product feature pitch. Using the words, it's not a wheel, it's a carousel, it's a time machine, really evoking an emotional response in the audience. Pretty hard in a telecoms industry, I appreciate, but I think thinking about simplificationalism reminds us of the need to remove jargon when talking to our customers, and how we also need to elevate our product knowledge in order to get our point across in a more simplistic term. Demonstrations have always played a really important part in the sales process, so we need to try and find innovative ways to incorporate this into a world where remote selling is likely to become the norm. So Will's already just touched on the sales process and how that might look. And I think many of you have got very defined sales processes. And I think it's really good time to start thinking about how, if you aren't able to go and see face-to-face customers, how you could change that process. And I think actually how we can very quickly reduce the sales cycle and move to a much quicker timescale of getting a customer to sign on the dotted line. We also heard from Dan on how video meetings and remote demonstrations have enabled the sales process for So Connect. But there's always that kind of difficulty in that a bad demonstration will have the absolute opposite effect and opposite outcome of having a customer want to buy from you. So what we're looking to do is just try and help you to focus on things like the process itself. So first of all, why do we do a demonstration? I think there's a massive advantage of doing demonstrations for customers. First of all, it helps us to confirm that the solution we're offering does deliver what the customer requires. We can help move the sale forward because we can help the customer to buy into what we're offering and help moving it forward. And it definitely offers us a closing opportunity. It also massively offers us an upsell opportunity. So sometimes it's very easy to give a customer a quote and think about being cheap and cheerful, or you don't want to be the most expensive. If we can take the customer on that journey and help them understand the benefit of some of the more expensive items that we have to offer, then we can definitely help upsell, increase the value of the order. When we come to what are we going to demonstrate, this is where our background and preparation comes into play, because we really need to have a full understanding of everything that we're offering the customer and the outcome it's going to give for them. We need to build the demonstration into the overall presentation. And the better job we do here, the shorter the sales cycle and the more successful this part is going to be. When we do this is also something to consider, because I think it's normal that in a sales process that we've been used to, that the demonstration comes towards the end of the sales cycle. But for some opportunities, it's perfectly key that we could build this into the sales cycle much earlier and help the customer shape their requirements and define what they really need, because they don't really understand the technology that's out there and what it might do for them. Another area to really consider is who to invite. It's really critical to identify all of the stakeholders and make sure that they are included. If we overlook somebody really important and they didn't see the demonstration, they can put a spanner in the works and stop the customer moving forward because we didn't understand the importance of that person's opinion. And then we need to think about how. And again, Will covered a lot of our options here. In identifying the best tools that allow you to achieve the goal. Using the tools, settle on something as a business. We've sort of played with Zoom, we've tried GoToMeeting and GoToWebinar. But I think the key thing here is really practice. Understand what the technology is going to do, how it's going to do it, and make sure that the presentation and the overall demonstration that you provided is as slick as possible. Also, things like the calendar tools that Will talked about. The fact that we've introduced Microsoft Bookings is making a massive difference in people being able to self-serve and arrange a meeting at a time that suits themselves. So I'd really encourage you to look at all of these different types of tools and build that into your process. So we've also been thinking about some of the products that we know demonstrate very successfully remotely, and we've been doing these on behalf of you over the last few weeks. So you can see here we've got options for cloud and on-premises, so things like the portal, UCE, iPEX to Teams, audio conference bridge, and iCall Suite. And then for on-prem, providing a complete overview with a PowerPoint presentation, UCS, iCall Suite again, maybe even showing some of the system admin, and also IPCR, if that's the kind of call recording that a customer might want. But what we're going to do shortly following this is launch a training webinar to follow the event today so that you can register to expand on this session and help you and your teams understand and feel more confident in delivering a remote demonstration. We're also going to be scheduling dates for traditional product training so that everyone can brush up on their knowledge and feel much more confident in building a remote demonstration into part of the process. So look out for that bulletin in the next few days.